the mic.
Red flag statement.
Does this still work?
You got some cheers?
Do those go right into the stream?
Yeah, that went in the stream. On YouTube, at least.
We have a live audience tonight.
All right, here we go. And 5, 4, 3.
Welcome, everyone, and pull up a seat at the table. It's lunchtime in Rome. Tonight's episode 237 is entitled Red Flag Statements. Many times we hear statements that not only don't make sense, but in fact aren't productive at all. They actually are indicative of emotional immaturity. We're talking about it at the table this evening. Pull up a seat and join us. First-time listeners can subscribe on your favorite podcast app or watch us live or later at youtube.com/lunchtime in Rome. Visit us at lunchtimeinrome.com, and while there, you should take our relational needs questionnaire. Make sure to follow us on all social media, and it would be great if you gave us a 5-star review. Jay, what specifically is the podcast about? Well,
Being alone is the worst. Good times aren't as good, and bad times are worse when you're all alone. Romans 12:15 says to rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn. That is how you keep people from being alone, and what this podcast is all about. We demonstrate that in the first 15 minutes of the podcast, and we talk about it for the rest. So while it may not be 12:15 in Rome, we're treating it like it is lunchtime in Rome. Rome.
Yeah, we're here, everybody.
We're out here.
Is it bright in here?
We got the overheads
extra
on.
two.
You want the overheads
Two
on?
extra lights.
It sounds like you don't want them on.
It doesn't feel as cozy tonight.
I mean, you can turn them off.
Will it be bad for the live stream?
No, you can turn them off.
This conversation's bad for the live stream.
this is
It'll be worse. It'll be worse for the recorded podcast. Oh,
Is that better, everybody?
Doesn't that feel nice?
I feel so much more cozy.
cozy.
I've never felt cozy here.
So we got a new car.
No, you
yeah,
didn't.
do
A
tell.
new car.
No, you didn't.
No, we didn't.
It's better than a car?
Yeah, it's not a
It-
car.
it is better than a car. It's a Kia Telluride.
It's beautiful.
You got a new ride.
Their largest
a Telluride.
SUV.
You know what's funny is that they have the Kia Telluride and they have the Sorento.
Yeah.
They're both 7-seater SUVs. I think the Telluride is like just a little bit bigger.
The Sorrento's harder to get in. I tried them both. When I was looking at the Telluride, I
Yeah.
did try to get into both, into the third row or the back row.
The Sorrento has a third row.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, we just test drove a Nissan Rogue one time. You know, it's like a smaller SUV.
Yeah, not impressed.
I feel like me neither, and I feel like
one of
it
them.
claimed to be a 7-seater. And I tried to climb in the back seat. I was the only one in the back seat, and I felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I don't.
But your
trust
Telluride is a nice
That
ride.
one is
It's
the
a
real
nice ride.
7-seater.
I love it.
We've already put it to good use.
We have. It was like the third day that we've had it, and Brian messaged me if he could borrow it to pick up something.
That's so good.
I was like, I'll scratch it all up for you if you want me to.
But no, I love it. I love it.
Oh, how couldn't you?
I know. And just, yeah. I don't know. I love it.
And it's such a, wow, it's not a small thing. But like in the midst of a trying time, it's like, but I got a new ride.
I got a new ride. And like getting in it, like getting, like, because, and the thing about Kia, the thing I love about Kia, and I'm not like a sales guy, but like, it's one package up from their base model. It's the EX.
However,
it comes with heated and cooled seats.
Cool too.
That's what I'm saying,
Fantastic.
dude. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Automatic starter?
dude, I have an app that I can turn the car on with.
Do you really?
I can lock it with the app.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I can start the car. I can lock the car. I can unlock the car from the
the
app.
government can do that too now. Now you gave it over to them.
Well, I mean, they probably can because, it's tied to the internet somehow, I guess.
Sure.
That's one of my favorite things about new vehicles, though, is like the sweet
tech.
tech.
The
To get
tech.
tied to the government.
The government
No, not
overreach.
that.
Yeah, the government.
I love the anticipation where anytime
Well,
the government can
and
take
you guys
my
know
car.
me. I'm techie.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Not as techie as Jay.
No, nobody is.
But like, it's one thing that also bothers me about like it's one reason why I won't get a Tesla is because like you can like they can unlock things
Sure.
via a firmware upgrade,
Right.
or take them away.
Yep.
Or you could pay more for something. Like it's bothersome to me that it's like, well, just give me the car that you gave me. Like, give me all the capabilities. Like, it makes no sense.
Well, but along with that, I have to defend Tesla now for a second. But along with that, you get updates and upgrades.
At what price, though? At what price, Chris?
No, free. Oh, at what price as far as like
freedom?
No, because like I know there's like limitations on how far you can go. Like they've unlocked that via firmware.
Right,
Or it's like,
right.
well, why wouldn't you just
freedom.
why wouldn't you just give all the mileage? Why would you
It
limit?
must save money in the long run to like manufacture all the models the same ish. You know what I mean? And then unlock it if you
guess.
pay more. I don't know. I have
What
no
I'm
idea.
saying is I think they would sell more Teslas.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what,
It's
though.
one reason why I wouldn't buy one.
I am excited that you're excited about your new car.
This episode of Car Time in Rome is great.
Telluride.
Telluride. It's
In
I
Rome.
love it. I love it. Drives like a truck, and and it's one of those things like. It is a good feeling driving a new car. Like there's just something about it. I don't even like the new car smell.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah.
Mags was saying that the other day too. Yeah.
She doesn't like it either. And I'm like, that's my girl right there.
Huh, interesting.
So you've never liked it. It's
I've
not just
never
this
liked it.
vehicle.
No.
Yeah.
I get why people like it. One, it's like a symbolism,
Sure.
kind of,
It's new.
New. But like I don't like it. And it's never grown on me either. So
Well, it's okay.
I haven't put a air freshener in it yet, but I plan to.
You got to off-road it a little bit too.
Yeah, I took it up in your yard.
Yeah.
When we picked up the lawn furniture.
I envision you doing donuts by Brian's pool.
Well, we both.
Boy, that brings a really good question up.
Yeah.
Is your last chicken still alive?
Yeah.
It is.
That SOB will not go.
I
she's
backed
still
up
laying.
the Telluride right next to it. And it was
Yeah.
like, buck, buck, buck,
Well, it's funny. We went to get me some furniture, lawn furniture. I went in the
nodding its head.
I went in the Sportage.
pretty nice.
Sorry, Brian.
Chicken approves. Tell you right. It's
It
chicken.
did. It told me it was like, buck, buck,
Chicken over.
buck, 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 buck.
But yeah, we went to Eric and I both went and picked up furniture. I took my Kia Sportage. He took his new Telluride, and on the way back, we got into my plan, and I was like, "We're taking this up into the yard," and I know Eric's gonna do it. Like I mean, I was gonna do it anyways because that's what I do.
Yeah.
Like if I have something to take, why walk when you can just drive up into the yard? I was like, but if I do it, Eric's gonna do it too. So we had two cool Kias up in, in the yard.
White Kias. They're both white, looking sharp.
Yep.
Say wait again.
So for me, I got lawn furniture, and this upcoming week is
Nice too.
It is nice.
Yeah.
And it actually is real.
Not Israel.
Not Israel.
It's from.
For all the listeners, backstory: about 2 years ago, I bought some lawn furniture off of Facebook Marketplace from a place that just scammed me. I think I told this. Story.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Oh, dude, I was
it's-
right on it. When
it's
you
still
said
coming.
I
Yeah.
picked up my
Yeah, it's
furniture,
still
I'm like,
coming.
from 2 years ago? He's like,
Oh,
no.
now I get why you said it's real.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
right? Because it actually is in my.
You
yard.
never got that money back either?
No.
Oh,
I really didn't pursue it. I was just like, yeah, there's no way I'm getting this back. But anyways, so this weekend coming up is Abby's musical. So middle school musical is Frozen Junior. Abby has a little bit more than like ensemble. She actually has a part. So that's exciting because it's her first one.
we'll be there. We'll be on Friday. We're coming Friday.
I might not be there because I might be playing hockey.
Well,
But
it's Friday.
yeah, I mean, why go see my daughter's stuff whenever?
You got to defend that goal.
Yeah, I do. So, anyways, yeah, lawn furniture, upcoming event for Abby, and just keeping my head down right now and working
Yeah.
like a maniac. So, but it's been good. Yeah, that's all I got.
So for me, I had a great idea for a question, except I forgot what made me think of the question. So maybe we'll
Cougar
table
Town?
it for another town. No, another town. Yeah,
Another
you
town.
got me.
Ah.
No, but like how I have two examples, but it's not what caused me to think of the question. It was something else on the drive here, and I don't remember what it was.
Lawn furniture.
Oh, I got it. Ha ha.
Keep it.
So this is March Madness, right?
Yeah.
And everybody fills out their brackets.
I filled mine out today.
Years ago now, probably 10 years ago, I'm like, I'm not filling out a bracket anymore.
Yeah.
Because I said, I don't know. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
So
No,
now,
that's not
when there's
true.
like an
Can't be
upset, well, I mean, the bookies know.
That's what I mean.
Right.
It's
But like if there's this great Cinderella story,
Yeah.
but they weren't in my bracket, I didn't pick them. Well, then I don't want them to win. Well, that's stupid. Like if I don't fill out a bracket, then I can celebrate.
You can just
anything and everything.
Yeah.
But the point of the story and the question is, I wouldn't mind filling one out now. It's not what I do.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore. I don't fill out brackets. I've never used emojis except for the poop emoji, and that only goes to Rachel. And lastly, I don't take a selfie. For 0 reasons.
I was gonna say you've got a lot of rules.
Nope, just those 3 I found out.
Oh, okay.
But that's my question. Is there anything you don't do or you do, anything you don't do because I don't do that? But you're not firm. Like, yeah, I don't go to strip clubs, but I have reasons for that.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean? But it's just like, it's not what I do, so I don't do it.
Yeah, I'm sure I got lots of them.
Go to your daughter's opening night.
I go play hockey.
See?
Amy
Because
and
that's
I
what you do.
had a bit of the conversation. This is not exactly the same thing, but whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Sure.
That is
And-
one of our. Sorry, not to interrupt, but whenever we get a new team member, we have
At
a list.
work.
We have
That's how you
we have
vet-
a list
that's
of
how you vet them.
questions. It should be. It should be. But it's one of the questions that we ask them.
Well, and
If it is or
so
not.
apparently they talked about it on the Office Ladies podcast, and she was listening to that, and so she was telling me their reasoning. They came to the conclusion it is not.
Wow.
And
It's wrong.
I
It is
said
the wrong answer.
yes, it is. And she's like, well, why? I said because I said so.
Yeah.
Because I want it to be. So there's something that I just do because it's not the same. Like I said,
You'll die on that hill for no other reason than the fact that I'm going to die on that
Yeah.
hill.
it's just a Christmas movie.
Well, I
don't have any great-
Bruce Willis himself says it's not a Christmas movie.
That's what she said.
and I disagree.
And look what had happened to him.
Aw, too soon.
right. It's fair to say he doesn't remember saying that.
Oh man.
And the best part is Brian has no idea what we're talking about.
No, I do.
Oh, okay.
I know.
He's just above it. I would go so far as to say, I never, it's not what I do, debate whether something is a Christmas movie or not. I'm not passionate either way.
Right.
It's funny. I almost channeled you. I knew that would, in my heart, I knew that would be your
Pause was the
response.
best part.
So I almost said to her, I'm going to channel my inner Jay and say, let me be honest with you. I don't care.
Or you could have also, I lost it.
Well, if Brian like felt like a cringe or something, like somebody out there listening is like, I don't return my shopping cart.
Oh,
Good call.
Well, that would be Satan.
I don't want to know about it.
Wait, now we're back on the litter talk.
Yeah.
Rachel and I were going out to Target, I believe it was, and we're at the light on Road I before you get to 22,
Yeah.
and the car behind us just reaching out. It was, it wasn't bags of garbage.
It's
But it was
terrible.
like wrappings of something they were unwrapping.
It's so lazy.
Why? Why do it?
I don't understand why you do it.
Yeah, there's a, like, okay, because I thought you were going to go the other
farm
direction,
animal.
like, because obviously the choice to not litter, there's good reason behind it.
Right. But somebody says I litter.
But the
it's just
choice
what
to-
I do.
Yeah. Well, seriously.
Yeah.
Because there's no good reason to do it.
There's no good reason.
Well,
at all.
because you don't want the garbage in your car.
That is a
That's not a
lame
good reason.
That's not
It's
a good reason though,
not. It's a
because you can
reason.
stop at any gas station. If you when you next time you go into Target, there's trash cans
Yeah.
on the way in. Like there's trash cans everywhere.
Remember,
It makes no sense to me.
remember how everybody used to dump their ashes?
Oh, that's the best. They still see that every once in a while in a parking lot.
Come on.
You
Yeah.
just see like 50
Disgusting.
cigarette butts.
Well,
Disgusting.
On one of the recent John Chris podcasts, Net Positive, been a few weeks since I heard it, but he's not parking. He's not paying for parking.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's his. Oh, he talks about that from time to time.
Yeah, he won't pay for parking.
So what does he do when he gets fined?
He's just seeing for the year if he comes out on top. So he's taking how much it would cost to park, and then if he gets a ticket, so I'm anxious
pays
to
the
see.
ticket.
He
So
pays the ticket.
So he can't park in a garage. Is he like
Yeah,
boycotting
this is
garages?
all like
well,
street
I don't
stuff.
know because like now, like for our parking garage at work, you leave, like you go in and you go out, and the bar raises. It reads your license plate, and then it'll like.
Well, that's taking it out of his hands if that's the case, because he has to pay that.
No, he doesn't.
Well,
They would have to file.
they
Like
bill you.
They
wouldn't
bill
have to
you.
have a card
but
on
you,
file?
But,
Yeah.
but they would have to like track him down in order to find him.
Wasn't that what like the Easy Pass was doing like during COVID?
I got one of those actually recently. I didn't use my Easy Pass sensor
Yeah.
well enough, and they billed me.
They billed you. They didn't just like take it out of your account.
You actually,
I mean,
separate from your Easy Pass account.
Are you going to do the extra step where you have to log in and put in your Easy Pass info so you
I'll
get
let
the
it
lower
ride,
price?
whatever.
Let it ride.
Yeah, I'm wanted, by the way, in Toledo, Ohio, for the Seagate parking garage because there was like nothing on the way in, and it didn't look like I had to pay. I was, by the way, a senior in high school playing in the national championships for junior Olympic volleyball, and they left like a bill on my car and told me to like go to this pay station and stick it in an envelope, and I was like,
No.
I'm not going to be back in Toledo, bro. That's on
not
you.
getting paid.
I still have outstanding ones in Johnstown.
Yeah, but also in that same episode, he talked about how like Dave Chappelle, that he smokes inside and he smokes in restaurants and he smokes in hotels, and they're like, you can't do that, and he goes, no, what's the fine?
Yeah.
He's like, so $300? Okay, here's $300.
Yeah.
Clean the room, and it's like, oh, all right. Yeah.
Wow.
Renegades.
Other than that, I'm fine. I was just so everybody, let us know. You won't, but what do you not do just because you don't do it? But also happy to announce that my family's putting together the Trey Mitlow Memorial Scholarship that'll go to a Penn Hills High School student.
Yeah, that's
No
big
way.
news.
I think we're just doing one. We thought about
Okay.
doing two, but it's kind of fun. We didn't want to do it when Joe and Bella were in high school because it takes away from their accomplishments, everything else, and multiple
Nepotism.
reasons. But now, we always thought like it'd be awkward if somebody else won it, like instead of Joe.
And like Joe hands it to them.
Yeah, like Joe. Yeah, this kid just reminded us more of Trey than you did. But you were close. You were close. But it's fun coming up with like the criteria because you're getting to create your own scholarship. And so I thought like I think it's just gonna be one question like why do you deserve it? And like like if you put your GPA, you're out. We don't care about your GPA. Or do you say like
So there's wrong answers.
yeah.
Why do
Or
I
like,
deserve it?
I like
No,
I like to
wrong.
run around naked. +1. Fine.
That's like Trey.
I squeeze butter in my mouth while I dance, and I call it the butter dance. +2. I only eat the fillet of the strawberry, not the entire strawberry. +4. You're all the way up in the bonus at this point.
It's like when George Costanza is looking for that scholarship, and he finds that kid who's just like him. He's like mediocre
And everything.
and everything. He's like, "What's your grade point average?" C. What do you want to be? An architect?
So that's where we are.
That's so good.
I have very little update.
Good. All right, let's get into
Just
no.
plug in. Yeah, well, it'll be almost that short. Just plug in through.
Yeah, but that's the
My
worst.
my update is just a time of year update. I hate March.
Yeah.
I hate March.
I know.
For like just in general, or like because like
It's
of
too
teacher thing.
No.
The teasing.
The teasing of the weather
Yeah.
is the big
You're
thing.
big on weather.
Yeah,
You
I am.
are.
No.
It's often part of my updates. You
gotta move to the
It is
equator.
also the time of year. I think just like it's almost that push to the end of the school year, but we're
But it's
still
not.
But
it's
it's
not
not. You still
really
Yeah,
Fourth
yeah.
9 weeks. It's not even fourth 9 weeks yet, is it?
at the end of this week or next
Oh,
next
Ethan-
Monday.
Ethan said
yeah.
Penn Hill starts tomorrow.
Could be.
Nice.
But yeah, because you're like, we're almost, we're still in the third 9 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, and like
It's the
for
season.
example, March around here has taken a horrible turn this week to cold weather, and yet
Really cool.
there's still like allergies and stuff. Like it's
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's freezing
And we
cold.
just had 75.
yeah, we got teased.
my neighbor's daffodils are all up.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I already sprayed
Snowing.
poison on the disc golf course.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I guess typical March, but that's why I hate it.
Every single March, there's a line from The Simpsons where, like, I think it was a Treehouse of Horror. But anyways, Homer's like walking in, and the school didn't have a budget for the right calendar, and so March is misspelled. It says Smarch, and like he walks in, and it's like 80 degrees out, but he walks out, and it's snowing, and he walks past the calendar, and he goes, "Lousy Smarch weather." And so like every March, like every time it snows or something, I'm like, "Lousy Smarch weather."
It is lousy. Yeah.
I believe climate-wise, we talk a lot about climate here at the table.
with Maryland, Ashley, and Breaking 90.
Yeah, they sit at the top of the climate change totem pole that we put together here.
Right.
And we're grateful for their contributions. And if you want to make yourself to sit at the head of the table, go to lunchtimeinrome.com, become a paid subscriber, or just bless us with a gift so we can get some more gear and we'll take care of you. Mary Lynn has reminded me that she's putting together a big event for Lunchtime in Rome that can help raise some money. So we're excited about that as well.
That is exciting.
But no, I feel like the weather. What?
He has his
I
phone
also
up.
just wanted to give a shout out to Kimberly Clemens.
Okay,
Yeah.
Kim Clemens.
Kim Clemens.
And she was listening to was it last week's?
It was last
Yep.
week's.
Last week's episode, and she just said it's phenomenal, and we appreciate you for listening, and we love when you guys comment. We very much appreciate it. We want more of it. We'll give you shout outs. So please participate, and please, if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you're listening, please give us a review. I was looking at some reviews today, and we could use some more freshened up reviews. We've got some good ones where we have a good rating, but the more and more that you guys leave reviews and leave those star ratings, it's very, very helpful to us.
We would appreciate that.
And speaking of becoming members or, bestowing gifts upon the podcast, at some point there will be merch. As God is my witness, someday
You leading that charge?
I am going to verbally right now lead that charge.
All right.
And
You heard it
at
here,
some
everybody.
point there will be T-shirts or some such things with Lunchtime in Rome on it, and everybody will be wearing them.
Look, we need coffee mugs that say
That would be good merch.
around the side.
That would be. That's excellent.
Who would be interested in and every time you drink it, you just hear Eric's voice.
You got to get a little.
Is it though? It's more It's UAA.
Whatever it is.
UAHH.
Whatever it is, we'll figure it out and get merch for it.
Yeah.
Oh, shirts that say not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Yes.
All right, here we go, Chris. Go ahead and make it
It's actually a
happen.
really good one.
That is a
one.
really
So,
good
Chris,
one.
you're declaring it to be so.
I just want it so bad.
Is that a red flag statement?
Oh, you would think. So, there are things we hear. By the way, the climate talk I was about to do, we're tabling it for another time.
Okay.
Right. It's getting a little too warm
No,
for.
We do a lot of things with tables around here.
we do. And it's occurred to us that people say things that you just kind of go, what was that? Like
Yeah.
you at best, you've said nothing.
Humans do so much of that. It's a pet peeve of mine.
Well, it
Like,
sound-
what are you saying?
Well, it sounded like you were making an example. Like, people always do that.
Oh, no, the weather. Like,
yeah.
yeah, warm out today, huh? Ah, where's the sun? Like, I don't know. Go out and look for it. Like, well, when I was a water guy, it was one of my pet peeves. I'd walk into places and be like, so what's it like out there? I don't know. You have a smartphone. You have legs. Go look. You're sitting next to a window.
Well,
What?
see, conversely, when I go into a gas station or a convenience store and the weather's bad out, I always feel bad for them because everybody walks in and says, "Whoa, it's really coming down out there."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, bro, they don't live here. They came through that to
Yeah.
work, and giant window.
Yeah.
They can
Yeah.
see that it's raining out there.
Yeah.
But no, there's just statements that at best mean nothing, but at worst indicate a problem. And we're calling them red flag statements. And so we kind of have a couple categories, or not categories, but we'll say the statement. We'll say what's really missing from that statement, and then what you could say instead. But then and that's what I put together. But then what I thought would be fun is that we at the table and you listening with us, sitting with us at the table now or later, you're going to run it through in your head as well. And that is, how do you respond to somebody else who says this? Because we say some of these things, hopefully not, but we do. But also, if somebody says this to you, what can you say to them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first one is in any kind of a disagreement or argument, when somebody says, you always or you never.
Absolutes.
Absolute statements that are not at all true.
I've heard that
Yeah.
absolute statements corrupt absolutely.
Like power.
Am I messing that up?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. That was power.
Yes.
Cower.
But they
I'm sorry. I'm going off. Nope.
do not help. They are not helpful and they are not accurate unless you actually do always or never, but that's very rare.
Well, like you
But if you-
always breathe. Well, yeah.
You always breathe. Right.
But if
But
you
you're not saying
start-
that in an argument.
I was gonna say if you start an argument that way, or even I guess
You
in the middle of the
retaliate.
argument,
Always do this
like
when
that.
I do
That's
this.
not getting you anywhere.
No, and it's missing the individual assessment. Like, okay, well, when you do this, or the fact the other day when this was said, this made me feel this way. And I might have some culpability in that, whatever else. But if I just blanket it all on you, oh, you always, you never. And so you're missing the individual nuance of the moment.
Yeah, you're already conceding that this is going to be a fruitless conversation. It's already like admitting, all right, I'm closed off. Right. Or you're closed off and there's no hope for us.
And nobody responds to that and goes, oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Would you? And even if they do, they're seeking forgiveness, not understanding, and that's no good.
Right.
And so, of course, instead, you can say, hey, look, this specifically hurt me, took my need for this away, and it hurt me in this regard. That's what you should say instead. But what if somebody says to you, you always or you never? How do you retort that? What do you come back with? What would be a productive way to handle that statement? At home, go ahead and answer in your head right now. The boys are ruminating on it as we speak.
Yeah, or go onto Facebook or YouTube and give us your answer. Because I would be really interested to know.
They never comment.
They never comment.
Well,
we always talk about it and they never do it.
If somebody's saying this to you, then they are hurt. And if you are... And we're calling these, these red flag statements are immature, right? So if this person is coming at you with an immature statement, and
just tell them they're immature
to be, yeah, that's the answer. No, if you're trying to approach it from a more mature point, then you're going to, rather than get defensive at their always or never statement, you're going to sort of try to look in between the lines, right, and be like, okay, what their statement is saying that they're hurt by something.
Okay.
So then a response could be along the lines of, listen, I hear what you're saying, and when you are feeling, when I'm doing things that are making you feel that way, and take it from there.
I love what you're doing because you're ignoring their immature assessment.
Right. At least in the moment, right?
Right. And you're addressing, okay, clearly you're upset right now. Help me understand specifically, what did I say or do, and how did it make you feel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Challenge it. Ask for clarity.
Oh, no. I mean, challenge it. No, I don't.
No, but I mean, challenge the statement and say exactly what you just said. Clarify that for me.
Yeah, I don't love the word challenge.
Well,
engage.
Help me understand what you're
ignore the attack.
Meaning.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Ignore the attack and seek the heart.
Yeah.
Like, what's hurt? How did I in this moment? Yeah, don't say this. That's left you so immature that you're volleying blanket statements at me, you child.
Yeah.
Well, and
maybe don't finish that sentence.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a good example, and I don't want to get political or anything like that. But I feel like that
you always get political.
You always raise my taxes.
Oh, don't even get me started on taxes. That was my bad. Oh, that's our bad news this week. But for any blanket statement, like if somebody accuses you of being something that you're not, but they're bucketing you into like a group of people, and it's like, well, hold on, because I'm not.
Right.
Help me understand why you believe I'm that way or whatever. Right. I feel like because any blanket statement you can do that with.
Well, go political. Anybody that would vote for blank is blank.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and that's not fair at all.
No.
So
sometimes,
and whether it's that reminds or makes me think of the fact though that they're approaching that image of you or whatever with some baggage, like they have in the back of their mind this, this is what this means, that this and this is true,
right?
And it reminds me then of if you're in an argument with always and never statements with your spouse, then you are. There's baggage there too. They're saying, well, you did this again, so that means this and this and this and this is So it's the same.
It's interesting to me. I just thinking about it out loud. It applies to the macro and the micro. Mm-hmm. I just find that interesting.
What breaks my heart is how we can make so much fun of this, and yet these conversations happen all the time. Like as you were saying, if your spouse says to you, "You always" or "You never," and I just thought, say to them, "Oh, you're just like your mother." Well, I mean, that would be ridiculous. People say that all the time.
Well, sometimes it's true.
Yeah, I mean that's just how I am though.
And that's the second one.
Yeah.
If you hear it, and I hear this, it's more and younger. I think
that's just how I am.
Yo, I can't help it. Just how I am.
That's me being me.
Ugh, Makes me so angry.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, because it's so immature and it's so, in a way, it infuriates me two ways. And by that I mean it breaks my heart that they can't come. No, it bothers me because it's both false bravado. Like, yo, you're gonna have to deal with me. I'm just the way I am. I can't change.
So you're saying there may be a hint of pride. There's no not humility,
but it's false. It's more,
a false pride.
It's a false pride, but also it makes me angry and it makes me sad because you're looking at him and you're like, you're not. You know, you're a victim to yourself. Go ahead.
Can we delve into this dichotomy for a second? Because this statement is like, I like the word haughty that Brian used, right? Like, so if you're having an issue with someone and your response is just, well, that's just how I am.
Oh gosh, it makes me so mad.
Right?
It's making me more angry as we're saying
a-hole.
Yeah.
Does that make it all right?
Yeah, just how I am.
So the dichotomy is, though, Mr. Rogers once told me that I am good just the way I am.
Okay.
So I
Are
really
we going to go into Wow Wow Wubsy next?
I'm very serious though.
No,
in
I get what you're
this
saying.
notion
Yeah,
of like,
I get what you're saying.
okay, I can be loved just the way I am, but that doesn't like what. Help me out
It's not
with
an
that.
excuse for you to be an ignorant,
Yeah. Right.
immature
I think-
jerk.
Incapable of change.
I think
Yeah,
Mr. Rogers' message is that you are special.
Yeah.
Like, because
You're individual. You are.
you're individual. God loves you.
Yeah.
Like, God made you. God created you as an individual. You're special. That isn't a license to be a jerk.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
And I brought up Wow Wow Wubsy. Have you ever listened to when Adam Carolla talks about it?
Yeah.
I mean, he goes off on the song "You're the Coolest."
Yeah.
If you,
Yeah.
I don't know.
oh, it's the worst.
It is the worst.
and it is what's wrong. Because if everybody's the coolest, nobody's cool.
Right.
Because you don't stand out.
Yeah.
But it indicates, or what's missing, what you're basically saying is, well, I can't grow and I can't change.
Well, it is in my relationships, it's a huge sign finally in me of maturity that I'm like, oh, I need to grow as a person. I need to grow in my relationship with my spouse. I need to yeah.
All right,
And to kind of piggyback on what you said, Chris, we have talked about that in the past of like, we are who we are. Like we have the emotional needs that we have
Right.
because of who we are. So there is a little bit of truth in like, I am.
You should be a person. Like, you should be principled. You should have shape and definition that you
Right.
can stand on.
I know, but like if
I hear what you're saying.
But what I'm
But
saying,
given the context of an argument,
Yeah.
okay. I think
But you're saying
we are who we are.
we are who we are,
yeah.
but when you do it in an argument, you're putting up a wall.
That's just
Right.
who I am.
Right.
That's just
You gotta
who I
deal- you
am.
gotta deal with
dot,
this.
dot, and I'm not changing.
Yeah.
Is what that says. Hey, that's just how I am. Hey, look, you hurt my feelings when you said this. Hey, that's just how I am.
Right. So you're giving yourself no opportunity to grow. You're giving yourself no opportunity to
You're both. Sorry.
to expand your horizons. You're giving yourself no opportunity to change your paradigms.
yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, what I'm saying on the opposite end of the argument, well, that's because the way I am. I need your affection. I need your support because that's how I am.
No.
Do you see what I'm saying, though?
Yes, but no. I'm going to emotional nerd out on you.
Sure.
And
Please do.
It should hit closer to home to you.
Yeah.
No, you're expressing an extreme need for acceptance. That's just how I am. Are you going to love me even though I'm flawed? That's what you're saying is, wow, why are you making such a furrowed face?
I don't know if that's what I'm saying. But go, no, but go
Because
ahead.
you're saying that person that says, look, I'm just the way I am. You're saying they're asking for affection?
No, I'm saying like outside of an argument, like on the other side, like if you, on the outside of the argument, like not on like when we're saying when like we need our emotional needs met, like I need my emotional needs met because that's who I am.
Right, but that's
still
not. But that's
outside
not
of-
an emotionally immature statement.
What do you mean?
We're talking about emotionally immature statements, red flag
I know.
statements. If you
I know.
just say,
I know, and I'm sorry, I don't want to like go down a rabbit hole because we're only on number 2 here. But like I'm just saying, it's interesting. Like in a healthy way, I need those things because it is how I am.
yeah.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. It's just interesting.
Well, it's I think it's one of those aha moments for you,
Right.
But for me, it's so
but you're
far
like,
out of
right.
Right.
Yeah.
We have emotional needs because
Yeah.
of who we are. But if you throw it's just who I am out as a defense or a deflection,
Right.
that reveals an immature.
Right.
Did we
Right.
talk about that second missing statement?
Well,
yet?
no, that's what it's getting to.
Okay.
It's both you're a victim because you're saying, look, I can't change, so don't ask me to.
Right.
But also don't hold me accountable for what I've done. You have to deal with this. I can't.
So you're saying this person is claiming to just be a victim of
Who they are.
who they are.
That's just who I am.
Yeah.
And boy, is there so much of that in our society. It's disgusting.
That's just who I am.
Yeah.
And I'll pride myself
Yeah,
on that.
I will build my identity around
You
it.
don't know who you're dealing
That's
with.
the real annoying is when
You don't
like,
know who you're dealing. You don't know who I am.
the double down is
Yeah.
where it's real annoying.
But it's amazing because you need to accept me for who I am, and I'm not accountable for anything I say or do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a hell of a way to live.
So instead,
Oh yeah, I was wrong.
yeah. Like,
Oh wow, help me
pretty
understand what I did.
I believe it was Michael Scott that said it takes a big person to admit they're wrong, and I'm
I
that
am the
bigger
big person.
So if somebody says to you, "Hey, look, that's just how I am."
What do you say back?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking everybody. How do we retort that?
That's just
how do you
how I am.
respond?
Oh,
And that is gross.
I would say
You
like,
little person, you.
well, I think you're more than that.
Ooh.
Okay.
Like I think,
I
you're,
think that's sneaky brilliant.
Yeah,
if
that
not
is,
passive
yeah.
you're
aggressive.
minimizing yourself of who you can be.
I'm still going with smart ass responses.
yeah. I can't get past them.
That's just who I am. Oh,
like,
and actually,
you're a D-bag.
I think you're far, actually, I think you're far less than that.
Is this too fast logic if I would say like, well, I would counter that you are feeling that way right now, as opposed to that's who you are. Is that
I don't know if it's facts, logic, and reason. I don't know that it's necessarily going to hit home.
yeah?
So what was yours again? You're more than that?
Yeah, you're more than that.
I like it. It ain't going to work, but
Lead
I
with
like
Mr.
it.
Rogers.
That's not gonna work.
You are
Well,
special.
I feel like it's one of those things where it'll leave them thinking. I would hope so. Of like, I wonder what he meant by that. You know, like down the line.
You're more than that, and it breaks my heart that you don't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
More often than not, though, Brian. Yeah, it was not my fault.
and again, in this setting, it's
That's the next
a
statement, by the
defensive
way.
statement, right?
Yeah,
like
it's-
someone has said, "Well, hey, you did this," and you
not
said, "Well,
my
it's not my
fault."
fault."
Hey, what about 9/11? It's not my fault. I mean, that's not how this applies.
Right.
No, if somebody just quickly is deflecting, I mean, that's easy. You're not taking ownership, and you don't have any confidence. You know, and you know, if I feel bad, it wasn't my fault. Well, maybe it had nothing to do with you.
Yeah, what does that mean? Confidence in intention. What do you mean by that?
Well, I really meant to help you, and you're saying, for an example, would be, you know, oh, I can't believe you did this, and I go, well, it's not my fault. When instead I could have been like, well, no, my intention was to meet your needs this way, and I'm sorry it didn't work out that way. I can see how your feelings were hurt, but rather it's just all about me. Oh, it's not my fault.
What if you're in a situation where you're working with multiple people or you're doing things in a team setting?
Hypothetically,
Yeah, and other people have dropped the ball, but it comes back to you because you're part of that team. Like, think about Mike Tomlin, right? I mean, there's a lot of self-inflicted stuff, but there's a lot of things as the head coach where, you know, your organization, these men that you're leading, do things, and you have to take the, you know, you
Take the fall.
You have to kind of take the fall. He
Yeah.
could stand there and say, "It's not my fault that
Right.
Deontay Johnson didn't block for that guy."
Right.
So I guess what
so
I'm
what does
saying-
Mike Tomlin say?
Yeah,
Let's stay with Mike Tomlin. What did he
so
say?
you do become a
Nothing.
politician. He says, you know what I mean?
I'll tell you
Like,
what he says.
Yeah.
Well, what? Go ahead.
Our record, you know, is who we are. We're 7-17, so we're not good enough. You know, the record indicates we can say we're better than that. We'd say it's not our fault, but the record indicates we are who we are.
So,
And so if you get lumped in with everybody else, if you were part of everybody else, you can only take your role in it. Hey, I admit I was wrong in this regard. But if you just go, it's not my fault. And again, this is more one-on-one kind of a situation that we're looking at.
Right.
But if you're lumped in with a bunch of people and your number one priority is to say it's not my fault, Well, that's showing a lack of confidence. You can say, you know what? Hey, I fell short in this regard. You can say that.
Yeah.
And it's important because then this is just being sneaky. So let's go back to your example. You're part of a team, a group, an office, a class, whatever. I mean, how often did teachers scream and yell at a class? And you were sitting there going, I had nothing to do with that
It's
one.
been down. I've been quiet.
yeah.
You know.
And as a team, I've had players come up to me and say, hey, you yelled at everybody, but I just want you to know that I could have done this better, but I wasn't doing all that. But if you take ownership of your thing, in an office class, whatever, hey, I want to let you know, yeah, I did. I screwed up here. That lets them know I didn't screw up all over here.
Okay. So what if you are being falsely accused, even on a one-on-one level? Like somebody is placing their blame on you when you were not culpable.
Well, that's an inaccurate statement.
Right.
Okay.
That's different.
So
this is
so
like,
in that
this
case,
is
whoa, that's not my fault. That I'm not owning that.
right.
Because
This is if it is your fault. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or,
this
or,
is
or
if
maybe not even. Like, imagine, say we all go out and Amy, one car is late and Amy was riding with Chris and she rolls up and goes, well, it's not my fault. Well, no, it was Chris's fault, but nobody said it was your fault in the first place. Like, it's not her fault at all.
She's proactively.
But she's leading with it.
Yeah.
I just want you to know it's not my fault. Hypothetically.
never happens.
Anyhow, I don't know, skip that part. So, instead of saying it's not my fault, like, hey, how is it my fault? Hey, what did I do wrong?
Right.
Help me understand that. Have a little bit of confidence in who you are and just sort of say, hey, that's all right. And if somebody says that to you, it's not my fault.
Again, you're seeking understanding.
Right.
That will be an overlying principle in all of this.
Right.
Rather than deflecting or, ignoring.
Right.
You're trying to seek that. And if somebody says to you, look, it's not my fault, and what's going to be followed with is, well, it's just how I am.
Right.
And you always accuse me of this. We can do one big long one at the end.
Yeah, a lot of these are like putting up that wall, like that you are.
Right. And my answer to this would be like, it's not about your fault. I want you to
Right.
understand
Right.
the impact of what you said or did.
Yeah. I think this next one actually can tie in with that's just how I am. I don't care what others think. I don't care what others think. It's almost the same
That's
one.
the brother, sister, cousin to I'm just who I am.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
I don't care.
I'm just gonna do my thing. Well, your thing's dumb.
Well, when you're just doing, or when you say I don't care what others
Hills.
think.
I don't care what others think about me, Jay.
Go on.
Oh, he said it.
I don't care.
I don't care what others think. So you are, again, putting up a wall, but you are, okay, you don't have to, I guess, care what others think of you, right? But at my school, we have these things called the 3 T's. And one of them is take care of others. And we're trying to teach, empathy, right? And we live in community. That's another one of them is take care of community. But we live in a community together, and we're trying to think outside of ourselves. So whether it's true or not that this person saying that doesn't care what others think, it's not a healthy statement because you can't live in isolation. I mean, and we're talking about relationships. Relationships are by definition, you're not isolated.
And and not by definition, but by the statement alone, you clearly do.
Yeah.
You wouldn't declare.
Right. Yeah.
Because
I was going to say
because you choose to declare it.
I was going to say it's an absolute front to how you really feel.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And a poor one at that.
Because if you really don't, then you're not going to say
You wouldn't
it.
even say. You wouldn't even be in your brain.
Right.
I quote the great Archie Bunker, who, when Meathead said to him, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, you eat my heart out. And Archie went, I don't care. He didn't scream back. He didn't yell. He says, I don't care what you think. He went, I don't care.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's pretending to be confident, it's pretending that you can't be wrong, and instead, if you're the one saying it, oh, I don't care what people think, I'm scared. I'm scared about what people think.
Yeah, you're scared to be wrong. You're scared to be in the wrong.
When I've seen a lot of those people that put on that tough face,
Front's such a great word.
Yeah, that front. It's it is a mask, and behind that person is the most scared person, like most
So
frail.
soft.
Yeah, so soft.
So
Yeah.
soft.
It's the person that like can deal a joke, but they can't take one.
It's certainly
those are the worst.
Yeah.
I consider it like, I don't know if I'm 100% accurate on this, but a universal truth that like it's sort of like the bigger person, the Michael Scott thing, admitting that you're wrong, but it's to admit anything like that you are scared, that you are wrong, whatever,
Hurt.
like you are the bigger person. Like you're the more mature person. You're the stronger person in
That's
being
what
able
a
to do that.
emotionally mature person would say.
Right.
But an immature, emotionally type-ish person would say, I don't care.
Yeah.
Now, what's being revealed to me in my heart, and it's nothing that's going to shock anybody at the table, is when we get to the last unwritten column of what do you say to somebody when they say to you these things, my gut reaction is to shred them to pieces and make them feel small.
Right.
In none of my initial reactions is, oh, that's sad. Oh, bless their heart. Like, I don't care what others think. Sure you do. You little child. You're just a little child. No, that's not what you should say. But that's what comes to my mind.
Right.
Rather,
I hate drama.
no, we're still on what should you say to somebody.
I'm sorry. Well, yeah.
I'm scared to be wrong.
No, somebody says,
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
sorry,
care
I'm
what
sorry,
you
sorry,
think.
sorry.
These
Yeah,
are
yeah.
hard statements to like
To engage
Yes, they are.
But what if you did? No, I'm saying, like, I
know,
might even
I
say
don't
that.
know, I don't
No,
try
somebody
it.
said, no, I'm saying, somebody says to you, I don't care what people think.
Yeah. What do you say
Yeah,
back?
but no.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to finish your sentence now.
I'm saying you say to them, but what if you did care? What part of that would you care about? What part of that would cause you to pause?
Okay. Yeah.
You're like,
I like that.
But what if you did care?
Yeah. Just
Right.
put it. Don't
Hypothetically.
argue with
Let's
them
assume you were a
that
human.
they don't care. Right. But give them
Let's assume you weren't a child.
give them a hypothetical. Like, well, let's just discuss it. What if?
What if you did
Yeah.
care? What part of it would have bothered you there?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
That's a good.
Hey, what's the
answer.
next one, Brian?
I hate drama.
I know, but what's the next one? Hey,
Hey, I'm on first. Who's on first?
This is an interesting one because
who likes drama?
right.
But people do you like
trying-
drama.
I'm trying to
I
get
don't like drama.
my head wrapped around when this is said in an argument or a. I guess if it's someone is being dramatic toward
they,
you.
Imagine a
when
friend
they
group.
have not handled something well, and all of a sudden it starts to escalate. Oh, I just hate drama. Well, wait a second. You're the one that has
Okay.
not emotionally responded well,
It's the person-
and you're the one that's escalating things
Yeah.
inadvertently.
It's the person with a gasoline can next to a huge fire going, oh, I hate
Oh
fires.
gosh,
Gotcha.
fire is so awful.
Yeah, it's the person, like, nobody likes drama, but it's the person that chooses to say, oh, I hate drama.
Right. I can't be the problem.
And yet, they're in drama
they live in it.
all the time.
Yeah.
They are drama central.
Yes.
And yeah, they're basically saying, well, I can't be the problem. This is this drama that's the problem.
It just seems to follow me everywhere. I just
Yeah.
wish it wasn't happening.
Right.
And it's certainly not my fault.
I can't.
I mean,
explain it.
I'm a victim of this drama. I
Always
just
seems to happen to
I
me.
am such a victim that these dramatic events happen all around me. Mm-hmm.
I feel like this statement is of the person that is the least self-aware of themselves.
Sure. Or all of them.
But I feel like out of all these, I feel like this one's kind of sneaky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little tone deaf.
Because that is that. I mean, there are those people that are just always in drama. And they're just like, oh, I can't. Of course
Well,
you can't
you-
stand drama.
You know, you talk about it sometimes, like the person that like will always be going to another church. Oh, that last church I went to. Oh man. Well, you've been to 17 churches now. You think maybe there's a common theme?
Right. Yeah. Well, the guy that came to Young Life staff and in his first staff meeting said that they'd been in this area and this area and this area and this area on staff. And they finally read this book, Crucified by Christians, and they realized the hurt that Christians have. And I was like, bro, it's you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just you. You're
Yeah.
the common denominator in all of these things. You know, and the reality is what they should be saying is help me understand my role in this drama. You know,
Why does the person Why are they so blind to and tone deaf to those kind of things?
I would say it's such a high need for acceptance that they can't begin to admit fault.
It's overriding everything
I can't
else.
begin to admit fault.
Huh.
And
Denial, even like subconscious denial.
well, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
it's denial. But I mean,
What, you're talking about the river in
Purdue.
Yep.
But yeah, they can't begin to face that kind of there's no way you're going to meet that need for acceptance. And it's probably somebody that was, either always wrong growing up, no matter what, or never wrong growing up,
Or ignored. Like I feel like somebody that creates drama, they may have been ignored or passed over, and so it's a way of getting that attention. You know
high
what I
need of
mean?
attention. Sure.
Yep.
Could be. So instead, so I hate drama. Hey, everybody hates drama. But what do you think's going on specifically with this situation? How can we figure out what's going on right now? Because that brings them into, it's another overgeneralization.
Right.
Let's bring it in.
Hey, there's a conflict between two people. I hate drama. Nobody likes it. Help me understand what's going on right now.
Yeah.
What is it about the other person that hurt you or me? And let's open up to maybe your culpability in this. I've been using the word culpable a lot today. Just throwing it out there.
We just out here, man.
It's fine. Up next. Oh, that was I did an Eric That was nice.
No, you did a Chris. Chris
okay.
is or Eric is
Get it right.
It's not fair. This feels like a very defensive statement. If someone is saying it's not fair, they're talking about. Well, no, I shouldn't say defensive, but they're talking about something that's happened to them, as opposed to them.
And it can be specific into
reaching
one
out in an
thing or
argument.
just life. Oh, just this isn't fair.
Yeah.
This is one of these ones for me. It's like, what an irrelevant statement. Like, why are you wasting your breath on this one? Life is not fair. What do you want? What do you want? Fair is so subjective.
Yeah.
Like you're going to live in this squishy world. Okay, go ahead. All right. And then so you make yourself the victim. That's fine.
What do you guys think about? Does the word? Do you want to say something about that first, Eric?
I mean, I guess in the sake of an argument, I don't really understand this one.
Well, okay, then let me say, does the word deserve fit in with fair as well? Like, that's something that grinds my gears is when somebody's like, oh,
I deserve better.
I deserve
Or,
this.
I don't deserve this.
So-and-so, this is what you
Like,
really...
where is this ethereal?
Right,
Right. What scale are you talking
Yes.
about?
Right.
What is this acceptance deserving scale?
right.
Who judges this? You do?
Well, can you
okay.
give me an example of this one?
I lost my job, but this isn't fair.
But this,
I
it
got
hurts.
passed over
So,
for a promotion
be-
because this isn't fair.
But this isn't
my.
wait. This isn't an argument, though.
No, but it's an emotionally immature statement. It's something you hear that somebody says. These aren't all in arguments per se. These are just red flag statements.
All right.
Most of them occur within.
Okay.
I mean, if somebody's just walking around going, "You always, never," well, there has to be an argument. If somebody's saying it's not my fault, and everybody's like, "Nope, nobody was talking to you." These are just emotionally immature statements that people make that are red flags that you go, "Oh, you're hiding something," and you're not really, and you're projecting and or deflecting.
Or
All right.
life has given you something to bear outside of your asking,
Lemons.
and you could either go, it's not fair that life gave this to me. Now I have to be in this position. Or you say, all right, I accept that and I'm going to bear it. So that would be the healthy way to do things. The unhealthy way is to go,
It's not fair.
I got these lemons and I'm just going to squirt them in my eyes because I don't want to make lemonade from them.
But Eric, does that make sense? The different paradigm of what we're doing. But let me ask you this question, Brian. If somebody's in a parking lot and somebody didn't put their cart away, and the cart didn't put it back, then that cart rolls and hits somebody else's car.
Yeah.
That person gets out and says, "It's not fair."
Yeah.
How do you handle that? Because you're irate at the person who didn't put their cart away.
Sure.
Which person is saying it's not fair?
The person that got hit by the
little
cart.
old lady that just got pulled up in a car.
Her car got
and somebody
dinged.
else's cart hits them.
Because it's literally not fair.
Actually, there's an answer to this.
It isn't fair.
Right.
It isn't
In this
fair for
case,
that
that's
lady.
not fair.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things that people claim that,
Right.
to be a victim of or to be not fair, that, you know what, sorry, that's just outside of your control.
So we can come alongside them and say, this is really not everybody can, but we should at least try to come alongside them and say, yeah, this is really bad. This is bad.
I did this today. A friend of ours.
Do tell.
A friend of ours is going through the loss of a loved one, and this person is struggling very much with this. I don't understand this. Kind of, this isn't fair, you know. And there honestly is one side of me that was like, you know what, life's not fair.
Oh yeah.
And we're all one breath, you know. And I like the very practical part of me went there, but then the other part of me was like, that's not.
When you blow by fair, you skip fair. It's sad.
Yeah, and I'm going to join you in that. I feel your
It's
sorrow.
I'm going to identify what you're really feeling.
All this other stuff doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're not going back to that scale.
Yeah.
Now, if it's not obviously in a death situation, but in another situation, you can say, you know, down the road, you go, okay, but let's figure out how could we maybe have avoided this.
I just had the kid is going to school, and you know the teacher gives him a C. That's not fair. Well, wait a second. Did you study? Why do you think it's not fair?
Right. That situation makes more sense to me.
Right. The teacher gave me a C.
The teacher gave me a C.
Right.
Well, did you work? Did you study?
No.
You got what you deserved. So why is
Right.
that not fair?
Deserve.
And no, you're grounded. But you know what? I'm fine, really.
Fine. I'm
Fine.
fine.
It's fine.
Everything's fine.
And then it's not fine.
You're fine
Yeah.
until you're not, and then you'll be fine.
That's
Well, that's true too. But if somebody's saying, "Oh, no, I'm fine. I'm fine,"
Right, they're
it
lying.
means they're not fine.
no. If they go, no, I'm fine. Well, then they're fine. But if they go, no,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
No, it's not fine.
There's
You know?
a couple levels with this because there's like
How was your day?
you're the first one. You're the
Fine.
first one. That Eric's the first one that stands up. How are you? How you doing, Eric? Fine. Like, but like, and I know what he means by that.
Right.
It means like, not everything's.
I'm not
like-
okay.
Right.
I'm not great, but the world's also not falling down on me.
Right.
Right.
Because you know what's going on because I've told you about what's going on.
And it's a step up from
Yeah.
everything's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not making
So-
it to Maggie's birthday.
I don't like where it is, but it's fine.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is the
that's-
first one. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The first one that seems to me is like a very benign statement. Like
Defeatist?
Oh yeah, but it's benign in the sense that it's not
Coming at you.
starting an argument,
Right.
or in defense of an argument, or even like just lashing out with emotion. It's almost more inward.
Yeah, this-
and it's like you're just not. It's immature because you're just not really expressing
Well,
yourself.
yeah, you don't want to. It's like let's just move along. I don't
Yeah.
want to talk about
It's
it.
the most passive.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because you're like, why bother? And again, this comes from a place of a great need for comfort
Yeah,
and the fear that it's never getting met. So
I feel like it's also like they don't know. You know, one of the things we always talk about is like take the relational needs questionnaire so you know what your emotional needs are. Because a lot of people just they'll say they're fine.
They don't have the
They're really
language.
not, but they don't know why they're
Yeah.
not fine to even get into it.
because if you don't know if you're not aware of your emotions, you'll be manipulated by your feelings
Right.
Or it's really
or
sad
or resigned to them.
if they're saying it because they think nobody cares.
Right.
That is really
Yep.
depressing.
Yeah.
And odds are, most
A
don't.
lot of times, yeah.
Shout out to Patton on the stream. Hey, buddy.
Hey,
What
buddy.
up,
Good to see you.
I'll tell you what, it's not whatever,
It's not whatever.
but a lot of people say it. Whatever.
Whatever.
And it's not whatever. I mean, it is. The next one's whatever, but it's not whatever. And this, we are getting into the resigned portion of
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and the false,
Yeah.
the false indifference.
You're a little dead inside, and that's how you cover it up.
And you don't think anybody's coming with
whatever.
with an AED.
It is an admission of pain, though.
Well,
Like it is.
No.
Like if you're.
I don't think it's an admission of pain. It is indicative of pain.
Oh, okay.
Admission of pain is, I'm sad.
Well, it literally says admission. In Chris's defense, it says admission of pain.
Idiot, fell for my trap. No, what's missing?
I was just trying to flow, you know. And
No, that's what's missing is the admission of pain.
Oh, thank you. What I meant to say is it's the opposite of an admission.
That's so true.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, no, you're not admitting you're in pain.
I
You're
guess
hiding.
I do
Yeah.
not care
pain.
for this, and this is how I feel.
is what you should say.
Well,
I do care.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to gloss past what you guys were doing.
No, I like that Chris engaged in that way by showing us the alternative view.
Yeah. Well, I think
of that. That was
honestly, when
brilliant.
I read it, in my defense, it was
Why'd you go Southern there?
Southern lawyer in my defense.
Foghorn, leghorn,
Marmalade.
like molasses.
Like molasses.
I think what I interpreted that as is it's like a unintended admission of pain. Like if someone is saying to you, well, just whatever.
Well, yeah.
You know they are in pain.
If you've
Right.
listened
Yeah.
to this podcast.
Right.
But
Okay.
if you haven't, you're going to go, oh, they don't even care.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
And you could use the previous one. I'm fine. It's whatever. I'm fine.
Both.
Whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But think of a relationship. It's fine, whatever. Well, if you're not even going to argue about it, then I'm not going to argue with you. So therefore, I'll just continue on. So guess what? You drive. You get further and further apart. It's part of the. We should go back to the emotional relational games that people play. But it's fine.
Like Sweet
whatever.
Martyr, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be a sweet martyr. It's fine, whatever. And the other person goes, good.
Yeah.
Right.
Good. And I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Right.
And then bitterness grows.
Yeah.
So instead, no, it is something. It's not whatever. Help me understand. Once again, help me understand. What are you feeling right now? Well, it doesn't matter anyhow.
Yeah.
No, but it matters to me. And I would love to know what's going on inside your bitter heart. And then once your heart goes to bitter, you scream out, I don't need anybody. And if you're a Christian, you say, I've got my Jesus. And that's all I need.
That one really bugs me.
I have my Jesus, and that's all I need.
Yeah, because like we're put on this earth to serve each other, like
To be not even serve, but to be in a relationship.
to be in a relationship with each other, and like that's biblical, and like it really bugs me when, because like that tells me that person is like alone.
And they're projecting a
False
religious
strength. Oh, I'm
a
sorry.
religious superiority.
The statement,
Right.
I don't need anyone, reminds me also of when we said, I don't care what others think. It's a clear, like, you wouldn't even say it if you didn't.
Right.
So if you're saying,
Right.
I don't need anyone, it is because...
You need somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the exact opposite. Yeah.
In the great movie of Tombstone, whatever his name was. Oh, Curly. Not Curly. Oh, Bill, are you still there?
Yeah.
You may go now. He's so upset and angry and he's ready to shoot
Johnny
him.
Tyler.
Oh, Johnny Tyler.
Why, Johnny Tyler?
Are you still there?
I forgot you were there.
Yeah, I forgot you were there.
You may go now.
You may go now. That's somebody who does not care
Yeah. Yeah.
and doesn't need at least that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's obviously exuding a need for belonging, a need for being involved in something. And then
Would
your
it be
deep breath-
so? Yeah. Well, I don't need anyone. I would imagine comfort plays into that somehow. Like the need for comfort, wouldn't that?
I would say lack of experience with comfort
Lack of experience with comfort
or receiving
Yeah.
it. They're just like, oh, I don't need anybody.
Yeah, people don't provide it, so I don't need them. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
So if somebody says that to you, well, I'm someone. How can I be there? I don't need anybody. All right. Well, how can you use?
But I'd like to be.
How can I come alongside you?
Yeah. I'd like
in
to
this
be with.
moment?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a relationship. I'm just thinking about this. Let's move on.
Nice save. So when you hear these statements, hopefully you'll look beneath the statement. What's behind the statement or beneath the statement? What are they really saying? And how can I gently come alongside them? Now, conversely, if you're saying these things, break it down a little bit more in your own head and slow it down so that you go, wait, why am I saying this? Oh, what am I hiding? What am I afraid to reveal? What's going on? So that our conversations can be more productive and we can end up being a little bit closer, because this whole world is meant to divide us. What did Patton say?
We need
A live
a
commentary.
Yeah, go ahead.
We need a live commentary of Jay watching the entirety of the Hunger Games, and we need his take on President Snow. Interesting.
I think
an
I've
interesting
seen
take.
half of one of the first one.
That's about right for your movie watching. Yeah, that's about right.
What's this President Snow all about?
I haven't seen Hunger Games for years. Well, he's the insensitive, president who is Diabolical.
He put together the games.
Yeah.
Creative mind.
And that is the end of episode 237. Please make sure to give us a like or follow on social media and visit us at lunchtimeinrome.com. While there, take our relational needs questionnaire. Thanks for joining us at the table for Lunchtime in Rome.
See you next week.
Goodbye.
Are you still there? Bye.